Hello, once again from Rostrevor area news bite. Apologies that we weren't here last week, but anyway, we're back on a dark, drizzly, and damp evening in Rostrevor. So I'll get straight into it this week. I want to bring to your attention two surveys on the council Facebook page and or website. And the first one I want to highlight is one that I have been asked to promote, and it's a survey by the council towards residents over 50 years of age, and the survey is pretty much about how it feels to be growing older in our own council area. So it's a short online survey, and is through that Survey Monkey, and Cahill is bringing up the sample there now. So it pretty much asks about local people's experience of transport, housing, and other public services, and whether they continue to meet your needs as you get older. So I'm starting to feel old because I'm 51, and I've just realised that survey also applies to me, but I suppose you're as young as you feel. So anyway, that's a survey, Survey Monkey. It's accessible via the council Facebook page or website, and it is aimed at those over 50, and it is about the experience of living in the district as you get older and the services that are provided. Now, the second survey is one that I have mentioned a couple of times on the show, and it's finally gone live, and a very, very important survey it is. This is a survey about the proposed car parking charges in Kilbrony Park. Now, let me say at the outset, myself and Mark Gibbons, Councillor Mark Gibbons, have come out and categorically expressed our opposition to this proposal for car parking charges, specifically in this instance within Kilbrony Park. So I am pleading with people to take the time to go on once again to the council Facebook page or website and follow the links and access this online survey. Now, I have seen quite a few comments where people were intimating that this decision is preordained, and this is only a survey to find out how, in fact, people would prefer to pay for their car parking. Now, that may well be the case. That may be the perception when you're filling this form in. However, I would say to people, no, please go through the form question by question, because at the end there is a comment box, a box for you, a blank box for you to be able to make your comments, and no doubt I would hope that people will use that space to let the council officers know how they feel about this proposal. Any comments that I have seen on this on my own social media, Facebook page, or indeed the council one, certainly would leave the council officers in no doubt about the strength of opposition toward this proposal. Now, so say ideally this should be filled in online. However, anybody who is not online and feels very strongly about this are more than welcome to go on to the up to Kilbrony Park, up to the cafe, and you could access a hard copy of the survey up there, or indeed Slieve Gullion as well. But for the purposes of this show, we're concentrating on Kilbrony. So make your voice heard, people. Make your voice heard, and we will make sure that your concerns are brought to the council officers before any final decision is taken in relation to this. Now, also in relation to Kilbrony Park, we had quite unsavoury carry on last Saturday night over at the pedestrian gate at the Ferry Glen, where I think at one stage there was 2 or 3 dozen young people had gathered, and antisocial behaviour and the worst kind of it. There was people out walking, there was people out jogging, people were getting abused going past, doing nothing except going about their business, and it's an unacceptable situation that that the village has been allowed to or expected to put up with this, which is now becoming quite a regular occurrence. I'm getting information that it's young people coming into the village, and there's also young local people involved in this antisocial behaviour as well. But it sort of it crossed the line last Saturday night. There's a local man here is actually a driver for Translink, and he was on the number 39 route last Saturday night on that late shift, and his bus was attacked when he was going over the Ferry Glen Bridge by a hail of missiles of stones and bottles. And there was a customer on the bus. It was the end of the run, the end of the route. There was only one customer on the bus. That customer was sitting on the back seat. And then when the bus pulled into the square, there was 2 or 3 of the young lads' friends got off the bus. And the driver, who is also a local man, shouted down to the young lad to come on up the front of the bus till he had a crack with him instead of sitting down there on his own. Little did either driver or passenger know that about 20 seconds later, the back window would come in round the bus. So that lad had a very, very lucky escape. And this was a horrendous attack on a local man providing a service on behalf of his company, a public service, Translink. And there's no telling if those windows had been put in around the driver. The unintended consequences there could have been catastrophic. So I would plead with young people to wise up. That behaviour is totally unacceptable. And I would also plead with parents to please keep a closer eye on where your teenage children are at on the weekends, and what they may be up to. I have arranged a meeting with the local DEA neighbourhood policing team, and that is due to take place. I'm getting confirmation of the time and the place over the next day or so. So I hoping that they will take robust and positive action to try and curtail this activity is happening down there on the weekend nights, because we don't want any area of this village to become a no-go area for people. It's not certainly not the Rostrevor that I grew up in. Okay, moving on, and my condolences to a cousin of mine, Brenda Russell ní Tinnelly, a long time resident of Chicago, Illinois, and that's a photograph of Brenda's late husband, John, also a Rostrevor man who passed away last week and was buried yesterday in outside Chicago in Illinois. Now, John, like I said, was a Rostrevor man. Incredibly, he was in America since 1949 when he arrived on the SS Washington. And John, as a younger man, joined the US Army, and he served with distinction during the Korean War. He then, when he came back from the war, he attended the Illinois Institute of Technology, where he became an electrical engineer and worked at Motorola for nearly 40 years. So somewhere in between John coming back from Korea and settling into a a long time career at Motorola, he married Brenda Tinley because he had come home, I do believe, for his sister's wedding where he met Brenda. And the two of them set up home back out in Chicago, and they were married for 59 years. Two sons, Donnie and Gerard, and I think three granddaughters and one grandson. So John was a brother of the late Harry and Jim Russell from Rostrevor as well. So my condolences to Brenda. I know she does be online, and Brenda, you're very much in the thoughts of all the people back here in Rostrevor, and hopefully it'll not be too long till you're back among us again. And yesterday, John's funeral was on yesterday. It was streamed live from Park Ridge. And a very poignant ceremony took place in the cemetery afterwards, where to commemorate John's military service and a distinguished career it was, he actually had a military guard of honour. So Cahill maybe is able to show the short video, and I don't know if anybody can notice there was a little down flag flying on the corner of the hearse as well. So there's nobody can do it like the American military when it comes to this type of ceremony. So I'll stop talking and allow people just to watch this. And I'm sure you will agree that is a very, very poignant video. It's only a few minutes long, but I'm sure it's a short video and a short ceremony that John Russell's family, both in Ireland and here in Ireland and in Chicago, will treasure forever, from a country who very much venerates their military veterans. So our deepest condolences, Brenda, to you and your family, your sons and your grandchildren, on the passing of John. So that's it, folks, from Rostrevor for this week. As always, anybody has anything they would like to contact me on, I'm happy enough to call it out on Wednesday nights, and birthdays or anniversaries or anything else happening. Please feel free to give me a shout, and I'll be glad to give you a shout out. That's it the next week. All right, thank you. Bye.